Hello, I'm Manar and this is my reflective journal in video format. I'll be covering the following three areas, looking at my personal insights, strengths, vulnerabilities and biases, personal strategies to deal with it, and also the next steps in terms of development. What I found out is that I'm a very emotional person that jumps into conclusion first. And don't cover a lot of thinking and facts. That's quite clear when I work on assignments that require a lot of theory integration, that I always sort of look at the conclusion based on my biases and then struggle to find the theories to match that. So these are a combined sort of list based by Buster Benson, categorized. In terms of my biases that I found is that I've drawn to details that confirm my existing belief. I find stories and problems when looking for data, and I look at sample and looking at data in terms of complex areas. So of course, recognizing that there's an ability to change that. In terms of prospect theory and what I've done, it varies, but lately I've taken a risk-averse decision, which was low probability, when I've realized that there's when a risk, I didn't want to take a risk when it comes to traveling, so I decided to take a travel insurance for a trip that I've paid lots of money for. In terms of my biases, of course, that's the reasons, in terms of cognition ease and all of the feelings, and also in terms of my anxiety and how it changes. I've also been overconfident lately, applying for a job that I think that I would get and did not get it. In terms of group dynamics and so on as well, and I'm very aware of people's feelings and where they are in terms of change. So it's just looking at where they are, understanding where that is, and taking that into consideration. What I've also found as well in terms of strengths for me is that I have a good sense of felt sense and awareness, and I think that's to do with the meditation practice that I do. So these quotes, Rumi is a philosopher that I read. They've started to make more sense for me now after the class. When it comes to group dynamics as well, it's very important to realise to avoid group thinking. So by following these steps and recognising all the areas that affect it. So lately in a project I've been working on, these have been identified based on ignoring the danger and the risk of rolling out the system, and also the stereotype of what the other groups think about rolling the system early. So it's also important to consider that in terms of development. And in terms of decision making, making use of these decision models have been important. So I'll be following this when it comes to voting, to assess what the areas are, looking at more in data and what's important to me, and looking at the different policies and giving them different weighing. But that also can be applied for work. So in terms of rolling out the system, looking at how will the employees be affected, how the change will affect the customers, and how will the change affect the quality. So, in conclusion, I'd like to refer back to the main purpose, which is what constitutes good judgment, causing no harm without biases, understanding others and developing that trust, recognizing your default biases, accepting mistakes and learning from experience, and staying focused on the purpose. Is that's important to realize what it is that you need to achieve, what my agenda is, or what I need to achieve, what my agenda is, and how I'm going to do this. So once again, I'm referring it to another favourite Rumi quote that I like. Thank you.